Hi folks, how are you doing? I'm Ross Minton, this is Grow Your Own Life. Please like and subscribe as always, that would be amazing. And without further ado, I'll get straight to it. You ate all your leaves, chickens? Yep. Sadly we lost a chicken the other day, one of the old girls. She went peacefully, didn't she? She wasn't in the best of health for the last few weeks. To be fair, she hasn't been in the best of health since the people broke in and then killed two, and I think she was possibly injured by them but lived because she never laid ever since that point, and she was an old girl, so I just think she some kind of chicken PTSD, which I imagine if someone's grabbed hold of her and tried to kill her then it could do. But she had a happy little retirement, didn't she, girlies and boys? But yeah, she passed away the other day, which was quite sad, especially because she was one of my favourites. She always used to come to me and say hello. To be fair, you do too, don't you? Yes, you do. But yeah, she was one of my favourites because she was the light coloured one. You've probably seen she wasn't as ginger as these two, so she was noticeable. These two I mix up all the time. I know that the one with the white feathers is less dominant than the one without the white feathers around the neck, but I always confuse these two. But because the other one was quite light, you know, because she was distinctive and stood out, I knew a little bit more about her, if that makes sense. So it's a bit sad. But I've got these girlies now that are rescued, and I'm just keeping them separated while their feathers grow back. As you can see, they're not in the best state. So yeah, they're doing alright. They've got the brolly up to keep them from the shade. They've got the whole run down there. So they've got about a metre of space each, which is sadly more than they've ever had in their lives. But even there's me looking at it thinking it's a little bit too small. But they're loving it. And the first day I had them here, they didn't know what a slug was, they didn't know what lettuce was, they didn't know anything like that, and they just couldn't figure it out. But being next to these girls, they've started to learn. But what I don't want is, as you can see, look how sore they are. But until their feathers have come back, I don't want them mixing, because just in case there's bullying going on, obviously we all know chickens can be horrible to each other, and these girls will peck at their wounds, and so they're sectioned off. But they're getting to know each other, and they seem to sit either side of the fence and talk to each other, which is cool, and they're getting to know each other, so I'm happy with that. I've rescued 4 new girls. So I got a phone call the other day from the local chicken rescue place called Red Hen Rescue, Red Hen Rehoming. They called me up to say that since lockdown they've had no events, but they've actually got 24, I think it was 24 chickens that needed rehoming, and they're in a pretty sorry state, to be fair, because they were pretty much left on a farm to die because they escaped when the other girls went off to slaughter. So they basically these were the feisty ones that ran away kind of thing, and then were just left. They've been living for the last week with a rehoming person, so I know they're healthy, but they are patchy and they've got feathers missing, this and the other. I have been told that they are proper feisty, so I don't want to let them out just yet. They're in their little box because I'll be chasing them around the allotment like a lunatic trying to get them back in. So the girls are chilling out and they're perfectly happy in that box. They haven't been in there very long, about 20 minutes or so. And I can tell by the noises they're making, they're quite happy. They're pecking away at the grass underneath and everything. That's cool. So don't panic, folks, don't panic. But because they are new girls, and because they've got feathers missing, and because obviously they need to take a while to acclimatise to their new environment, I've separated off the chicken coop. Okay, so I'm hoping that they won't escape. They are here. And I'm going to lift the lid. Hopefully they should pop into their new home. No, one's escaped. Okay, we have an escapee. Right, I need to shut the gate. 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 Oh, this is what I didn't want to happen. But there you can see the state of the poor thing. Look at her. Right, I'm going to put the camera down because this is too hard holding the phone. That's it. In you go. Oh, look at her, bless. When you rescue chickens, sometimes I've seen them in worse states than that, but she's in a pretty bad way. aren't you, girly? You enjoying that sun on you? Yeah, is it nice? Now, I love rare breed chickens, and I would love some white chickens and this and the other. But when you can rescue a chicken that needs a home that looks like that, and hopefully you can fatten them up and get them healthy, like my girlies are in there now, I just don't see why you'd do anything else other than rescue a chicken. Should we get you in your house? Big burdock plant, where are you? There you are. Don't know whether to chop that down or not yet. I need to find out whether chickens can eat burdock. I know obviously they can't eat the prickly bits, but I don't want any more seeds, so in fairness, as it's starting to go to seed, I might cut it down now. The calendula and poppy bed that we sowed is doing well. As you can see, it's full of hoverflies and honeybees that are sheltered from the rain. And I've been pulling out the calendula and planting them around the place. But obviously, as we've said, this is all going to go eventually, because all the raspberries that are here, and I'm not expecting many raspberries this year because I've neglected them on purpose, because I'm going to move them all. All the raspberries are going to go down the fence, all the way down the fence. And that's going to mean that the fence isn't wasted space then. Fence can be raspberries all the way along. And then also the back there, that's going to be all the way down there, it's going to be raspberries too. And it means that basically I can just keep them in control, and I can free up all this space for hopefully another big raised bed. And when I mean, I was going to put a table there to start with, but I thought, nah, I'm going to have another raised bed, and I want it probably twice the size of that one there where the beans are. Sweet corn and onions are doing okay with the squash planted round her. It's hard to distinguish through a few of those weeds there, but they are there. You can see them. Squash, sweet corn. I just need to have a good weed. It's like everything, once it rains it goes pop and everything pops up. The chilies I planted outside seem to be doing pretty good actually. I'm quite happy about them. They're doing alright, as are the tomatoes. Now, I'm not going to open the greenhouse because it's been cool this morning, and it's just starting to warm up, so I don't want to waste any of that heat. It's got plenty of ventilation because that pane of glass missing at the back. But I have tomatoes just starting, but there is one there that looks like it's either going to ripen in, or it's just on the turn and it's going to rot off, blossom and rot. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But the rest of them are looking great, and I don't know if you can see in the back there in the corner, I have some big chunky ones at the back, which I'm very happy about. The cucumbers and chilies in this greenhouse are doing well, and as you can see, the cucamelon at the back is starting to grow now, which again I'm very happy about. I have a few cucumbers there that will need picking in a few days. I've already had 3 or 4 cucumbers. The cucumbers are doing great so far. All my framework's up so they can all grow up into the roof. Oh, camera's gone. Yeah, they can all grow up into the roof. So fingers crossed I'll have an absolute jungle of cucumbers in there this year, which I like. I like to be able to walk in and have them all hanging around. It just looks nice, doesn't it? So my carrots are doing well. Well, the tops are doing well. I don't know what they're like down here yet. Should we have a good old root through? I can't see any. Let's have a pull. Should we pull one up? Let's pull one up. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's a little baby carrot. I'll wash that and munch that for my dinner. So yeah, they're getting there. I'm quite happy with that. Sweet. So yeah, carrots are doing good then. Poppies popping up everywhere. You've got to love a poppy, haven't you? You've got to love a poppy. And to people that wonder why I keep my onions around, that's why. I think they're so pretty, and when they flower, the bees love them. So if you've got any old onions from the year before that you forgot and they've sprouted, don't just bin them. Don't just pull them out and throw them away. Just leave them. Leave them for nature. Look at the size of that stalk on there. I mean, people go to garden centres and people go to garden centres and spend £4 or £5 on an allium plant just for the flower head. You stick an old onion in the garden, you'll get one for free. So there we have it really. That's the very quick tour. Oh, my flag's up, look. Hee hee! My rainbow fish. And my bunting's up. Some of you probably seen that. But yeah, the beans are doing well too. Believe it or not, that'll be more than enough beans for me. Oh, by the way, if you see citrus fruit darted around everywhere, that's because I was given some grapefruit, and I don't really eat it, but it attracts the slugs. And you might think to yourself, why do you want to attract slugs? Well, I'm not actually attracting the slugs. What I'm doing is giving the slugs something else to eat other than my plants. It's another reason why I leave weeds like dock, burdock, dandelion leaves. I take the heads off, but dandelion leaves, I leave them lying around, because it sounds ridiculous. A slug would actually much rather eat a dandelion leaf than your lettuce. But if you absolutely clear everything away, you give that slug no option but to eat your lettuce. So by putting other things around that it prefers, hence the citrus fruit, slugs like it, beer traps as well, obviously they eat that, but then they also die. You stop them eating the things that you don't want them to eat, because you're never going to get rid of slugs in your garden. They're going to be there. They're in the soil. There's millions of them. There's probably hundreds of thousands of slugs just on my allotment around here. And you could spray them with chemicals and put slug pellets down and kill rats and mice and birds and owls and everything else that eats the things that's at the slug, that's at the pellet, which is barbaric in my opinion. Or you can change the way you garden, and you can kind of give the slugs something to eat. And as you'll see, those citrus fruits there, they're alive with activity, with things munching away on it. There's some black fly on there, some green fly on there, there's a few baby slugs around it, and this, that and the other. But there's very little holes in my beans. There's a few, but not many, because the slugs would rather eat that. Work with nature, guys, work with it. So I hope that was alright, folks. Thank you for joining me, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I know my tours normally only get watched by most of you that have already subscribed, so thank you very much, because that's awesome. So I'm going to wash my carrot now and have a nibble or a munch, and I'm going to get off home, because I know it's really lovely at the moment, but we've just had a thunderstorm and I know there's one due in about an hour's time, and I don't fancy being stuck down here in it. So until next time, folks, take care. Speak soon.